Good Thursday morning. I almost said Wednesday. Habits for Ask Andrew. Yep. Yes. Well, good Thursday morning, Quad Cities. It is Thursday, April 17th, and time right now is 9 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
And I'm weather anchor Peter Warner. We got some storms to talk about not only this evening, but it looks like right now.
That's right. Yeah, radar has been just filling in really quickly in the last hour, so we're going to be tracking some of those. We have no severe weather ongoing right now, nor are we expecting any severe weather with these storms coming in this morning. No. It's late tonight. That could get a little noisy around here.
Yes, that's where we could be seeing maybe that hail potential.
Yes.
That's what we're keeping an eye on here today.
And that really gets a lot of folks' attention, especially a person like me, where I just put on a new roof. I hear the word hail and I'm thinking, please not at my home. And a lot of you at home probably thinking, please not my car, my beautiful truck, my SUV that's going to be parked outside overnight. So yeah, we're going to talk about the storms going on right now. We'll talk about what is likely going to happen tonight. And then a big still question mark remaining on what is going to go down tomorrow afternoon. But we're starting to get some little clues as to where those new storms may fire later tomorrow.
Yes, and that's sounding like good news, hopefully.
It is very good news, especially if you don't want a very long shift that you have to work tomorrow. So we'll take you through that as well. But yeah, some of us picking up some rain this morning. Some of these stronger storms, again, not severe, but just a little bit on the stronger side, are putting down some small hail. We did get a report on the west side of Muscatine just about 10 minutes ago of some small pea-sized hail. So that will continue to be the trend as we go throughout this morning. Let's go to the radar and we'll kind of take a little bit of a tour here, working our way from south to north. You can see how it's really filled in the last 30 minutes or so, especially Muscatine and points to the south. That's where we have some of the heavier downpours. Nothing severe again, but some smaller hail will be possible with some of these storms as they are working to the northeast. We're not seeing anything really when it comes to Galesburg yet, but you will start getting wet with some heavier downpours shortly. There is likely some lightning activity within that. We're also seeing some more thunderstorms developing north of Aledo. So here in the Quad City Metro, we are also likely going to start to get wet again here in the next half hour while you're with us watching the stream. Further to the north, we had a strong storm earlier blow up near LeClaire. That thing has since fallen apart. It did likely drop some small hail. I saw some of that being reported as well on social media. Another storm tried to blow up near Clinton. It fell apart too. So we don't have an environment this morning that's conductive for widespread strong storms, but there is enough energy, enough kind of lift and buoyancy in the atmosphere that one of these storms could briefly produce that hail threat. So that's what we've got going on right now. Before we dig into what's going to happen later this evening, I want to remind you how this all works. So this is a live discussion, and by that it means you guys get the opportunity to join our discussion. And the easiest way to send us your questions right there on the bottom of your screen. Just takes a text message.
Just takes a text message. That number is 309-304-0888.
Yeah, 309-304-0888. Easy to remember.
Easy.
Text and data rate may apply if you're still on that older cell phone plan. So be mindful of that. But that's the easiest way to get it to us.
Yes.
And we already have, I know, a few kind of piling up there. So we'll definitely get to those. Make sure if you're wondering, or if you ask a question, when is it going to arrive at my home? When is it going to arrive where I live? Make sure you tell us where you live.
Yes.
Because it's hard to dig through your profile and try to find out your location. So, but be as specific as you can about the location. We don't need street numbers, house numbers, but we need a city at least.
Yes. City or hometown, that's pretty much all we'll need.
That will really help us out greatly. So we would appreciate that. Let's go over the basics of what we're expecting as we go into tonight, because again, that's going to be the main event, if you will. And I want to emphasize that this is not going to be a widespread severe weather episode. Not everyone is going to see these storms. They're going to be scattered, if not isolated.
Yes.
Based on what we've seen so far this morning.
Yes, it's kind of almost on that fringe between that marker between the isolated to scattered, and also the placement is still a little bit here or there, yes and no for some areas.
Exactly, yeah. We still believe, the areas tied to the Interstate 80 corridor will likely be the most vulnerable, but that does stretch on both sides of the interstate as we go through this evening. So as promised yesterday, we were going to tighten this timing up a little bit. We've gone ahead and done that. The weather impact alert is now from 10 o'clock this evening until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, so it's a narrower window. We're not talking about all day Friday. We're narrowing this down into the morning because we really think the threat in the afternoon is going to be shifting away from our region, and I'll explain why here in a second. Our top concern continues to be the large hail potential. If one or two of those stronger storms can hold its own and race eastward along the Interstate 80 corridor, that hail threat will likely still be in progress by the time it gets here.
Yeah, it's kind of all going to depend how much it loses and if it can hold that storm energy ahead of it too. Because I was looking at the models this morning, it's kind of, again, the storm energy is kind of pushing towards us, but it's a matter if we still have that remaining after tracking through pretty much the whole state of Iowa along I-80, because they're going to develop right over Omaha.
Yep.
Now it's going to matter if can it last and survive that long and have the right environment for it to last that long.
Exactly, and that's where it gets a little tricky. You know, we're talking about a nighttime event that involves a little bit more dynamics than we would typically see during a daytime event, like in the afternoon and evening. So there's a little more in the way of moisture and some other ingredients that we need to sustain these storms. But that is what we're looking at. Now, also the fact too that this is going to be while most of us are sleeping, so it's not a bad night to have those push alerts unmuted. So that way you are able to wake up and be notified should a watch or a warning be issued in your location. And in fact, I just got a notification.
We just got one here from our storm tracking.
Yeah, there's lightning less than half a mile, or actually there's lightning 9.4 miles.
Yeah,
yeah.
9.9.
Isn't that something? I love that app. Got to get
So
that
good.
app. Yes. So make sure that's unmuted, especially if you have a vehicle that's outside. Now, there's not much I can tell you in terms of trying to protect that vehicle, other than if you're lucky enough to live next to a car wash or maybe a bank that has some kind of an awning you can put it under as the storm is passing through. But other than that, yeah, definitely hail is going to be the main threat with us for this evening. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has escalated what's going to happen to the west of us. And Peter, you were tracking this morning because, of course, you're working for our sister station, Channel 5 there, WOI in Des Moines. But earlier, you know, Des Moines was just kind of on the edge of that 3 out of 5 risk, and now they're fully in it.
Yeah, it's on the fringe kind of what their viewing area is. So I guess Cass in Audubon County out in Iowa, further to the west. So that's about 3 counties over from Polk County was where it extended to. So I'd say, I guess, 3 counties into the state of Iowa. Now they just expanded that further into pretty much along that I-35 corridor. And what that means is maybe we have that potential even a little bit, not that it changed for us, but that means those storms are going to be building up more energy, and that means they could translate to here a little bit easier as well.
Yeah, because if you follow the trajectory, we know for the most part that these storms are, based on everything we've seen, pretty much going to be moving almost due east overnight. We don't see a lot of north or south push. So once, like you said earlier, storms get going southwest of Omaha later this afternoon into this evening, you know, pushing those east, we eventually work them into the Quad Cities. And that's why we have this 2 out of 5 threat track extended to the west side of the metro in areas further west, because that's the trajectory these storms are going to be taking. And like Peter said earlier, do we keep the dynamics in play to get those severe storms to reach us here in the Quad City Metro? Let me go back to here and I'll show you the hometown view of who's under what. So it kind of stops at Maquoketa and then just west of the Metro, but it does include Muscatine, and it also includes Mount Pleasant. Notice it does not include Burlington for the level 2 out of 5. So that's kind of that same agreement, that same thinking that once they reach the Mississippi River, no, the river's not going to kill them. It doesn't do that. But it's tend to decrease in intensity as it gets away from those better dynamics.
Yes, and again, there's so many more factors that have to play into this than typical storm energy. Like, yes, that will play a factor in the heating and the heat we retained this morning, but you also got to take into account the dew point and this low-level jet that we're talking about and how it's going to impact these storms. Yeah,
very complex, very, very complex. We'll go through some of the other individual storm threats here in just a second. I do want to show you what tomorrow has in store for us. So there is a very big 2 out of 5 risk sitting in the same area it was yesterday, the 2 out of 5 there in Illinois. Kind of surprised the Storm Prediction Center did not take this further southeast in the update this morning. We will hear from the Storm Prediction Center again regarding tomorrow's threat that you're seeing here at 12:30 this afternoon. I would hope by then, you know, based on everything we've been looking at the last 12 plus hours now, that this would sink further to the southeast. The threat is there, but we have very, very big questions regarding how far west those new storms can form tomorrow.
Yes, it's all going to depend on, one, that cold front placement, and 2, are we going to get some sunshine tomorrow?
Right.
And it's been trending like a cloudy day for your Friday.
Yeah, it looks very cloudy for tomorrow. And it also looks like the front is going to be racing its way in, literally. James Zahara last night talking about that. I think I was watching the 5 or the 6, probably the 5, saying that, yeah, we think the higher probability of seeing any stronger storm activity tomorrow is likely going to be right in here as you go southeast of Princeton. Basically, Interstate 39 and points to the east is where we're likely going to see those new storms form tomorrow afternoon. So that's why this morning, we only have the weather impact alert going until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're not extending it for the whole day. Just based on everything we're seeing, it looks like we're going to be okay tomorrow afternoon. Now, if that changes, then yes, we're going to have to expand that. And we will do that if that's the case. But as of right now, I think we're a little more confident in nothing happening as opposed to getting storms right here in the Quad Cities again tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, I mean, and again, it's not like it's completely out of the picture, but if this trend has continued for the last few days here for that potential, and if that trend continues, that's usually a good sign. Kind of like what we've seen here with this system. Our house model has been very consistent with it.
It's done a great job.
It's done a great job with forecasting the system, which is great for us. But yeah, because when there's less uncertainty, it helps us provide a better forecast for you guys. But that's kind of what we're seeing tomorrow as well.
And that's what we're going to hope continues to be the trend for tomorrow.
Yeah, so not written in stone.
Not written in stone, but it's trending. Yes, definitely leaning in that direction. Here's your wind zones. This is what we're talking about for tonight. Wind is not our biggest concern. Could there be a gust over 60 miles an hour on an isolated basis? Yes. But I want to point out the hail zone because this has been the talk from the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service is that the hail potential is very, very much elevated with this. Now, what you're seeing here, of course, the polka dot region, that's where 2-inch or larger hail is going to be likely, especially in that darker zone, including Des Moines down to Omaha. And then that threat will gradually decrease a little bit more as we head into the Quad Cities. But still, that's a 2 out of 5 on the threat track scale for Quad Cities and points west.
Yeah, it's a significant system making its way through. We're going to have really strong updraft.
Yes.
So the way this cap is set up and kind of we're seeing this system develop is the clouds are going to be a little bit more elevated, which means we're going to be seeing a lot more updraft within this. And we are seeing a downdraft that could cause a potential spin up or anything like that. The elevated clouds are giving that better potential for that updraft to develop that larger hail.
Exactly. And then the lower, we have what we call a lower freezing level. So that cold air sitting in the storm clouds a little bit closer to the ground than it usually would. And it's not surprising, given this time of year, we see that a lot. But like you said, the tornado threat here, really not concerned about that. That's going to be higher as you go to Omaha and areas further west of Des Moines into southwest Iowa. That's where they have a little bit higher tornado probabilities there. So to summarize all of this, again, from 10 o'clock this evening until 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're not really looking at a tornado threat.
Nope.
Wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, 1 out of 5, so not high. But the 2 out of 5 is going to be your hail, and that could be as large as golf ball size. And that can do some damage, not just to cars and vehicles, but roofs and other things as well. So this is going to be something that, again, it's happening while you're sleeping, but I have a feeling it's going to jolt folks out of bed should this materialize. You're not going to sleep through golf ball size hail for the most part.
I would say it's one of nature's alarm clocks.
It is, yeah. It'll get your attention really, really quickly. So we'll take you through future track, see some similarities into what we showed you yesterday. Also, we are likely going to get a new update as we're on the app with you right now. That happened yesterday between 9:15, 9:30ish. We got the new update. So we'll see what's happening with this. We'll take you through the rest of today, which shows showers and storms this morning, 1 or 2 left over Illinois side this afternoon. And then we watch for this new explosive thunderstorm development to start taking off near Omaha early this evening and then quickly working its way east overnight. So you're seeing how it kind of maintains itself at times, but it also looks like it's kind of decreasing in intensity at times too. And that's kind of our big question mark for tonight is we have the dynamics in play. Can 1 or 2 of these storms work with those dynamics to remain strong to severe as it gets in here later tonight?
Yeah, that's kind of, the thing we've been talking about, I guess, again, a lot is these dynamics with this system. That southern cell looks like it holds them a little bit better than that northern cell is, because it's just, if you look even at the storm energy, for example, there, it's remaining a little bit further south in those later night hours, right around as we get into late evening, again, around 10 p.m. Notice not only the storm energy, but, just that stronger cell has enough moisture, too. We're seeing a lot more moisture further south, which is what we kind of typically do. Not a lot more, but we typically see a little bit more moisture further to the south, which I think is probably helping that development.
Oh, you're so right. You are so right. That's where you're going to get the better temperatures. That's where you're going to get the higher dew points, and in most often cases. We're still getting to those characteristic signatures on the reflectivity, which is what we're showing you right now, the model's interpretation of what the radar could look like. You're seeing that kidney bean shape still taking place, so that's indicating that, yes, we could be still dealing with an isolated supercell situation. These would be elevated supercells.
Yes.
And again, not really a tornado threat, but more of a hail threat when you have what's called an elevated supercell. And what we mean by that, not to get too technical, but an elevated supercell is a storm where the base of that storm is much higher off the ground than it would be on an average day.
Yes.
It's just much higher
Yes.
due to certain atmospheric conditions. So that's what we're talking about when we say elevated supercells. We get into the 3-4 o'clock hour, it looks like most of that's gone, and then becomes that big question in the afternoon: can we get new things firing? And you see the timing of the front here. There is some storm energy, but it's really struggling to get anything to get going. And I think one of the things we may have to worry about tomorrow is that we've been talking about this cap, this atmospheric cap. We're going to have temperatures well into the 70s and even some 80s tomorrow, even if we don't get any sun. That's how strong the south wind will be. And what that can do is it can put a layer of warm air in the atmosphere that just puts the kibosh on storm development.
Yes, kind of halts it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you need to overcome that is you need some sunshine. You need at least a good 2.5, maybe 3 hours worth of sun. And that doesn't look like it's going to be in the cards for us tomorrow morning and into the afternoon when you really need it. So that's why as this front blows through at about 3-4 o'clock, you see Future Track keeps things quiet. It's not erupting any kind of storms right over here. It doesn't erupt storms until it gets well to the southeast of us. And this is even late. This is 10 o'clock at night. And by then, it's out of here. It's no longer our concern. The storm threat is long gone.
Yeah, once that front moves through, that's kind of almost in a way, not completely, but almost in a way, you're all clear, kind of pretty much.
That's
where we're going to be seeing the development of this system. Is what you see with a lot of our systems at this time of year is that kind of frontal boundary system setup. And that's what we're expecting here. And again, if you notice it delayed too, really slows down overnight.
Yes, it does.
It's moving through Des Moines this morning, overnight tonight, then it kind of just stalls right outside the Quad Cities area.
Yeah. And those are tricky too. You have to think about the timing of the front as well. You can't think about just the dynamics ahead of it. When is that front also going to come through? Plays a big part in your severe weather risks. We can pop into a couple of models too. That's what's nice about when you join us here on the A+ app. We can do a lot more on the fly.
Yes.
Because, this is an informal discussion, if you will. So we can do a lot more than we'd be able to do on the air, because on air we're limited with time. With this, we're not limited with time. So we don't have to keep that into consideration. Not that we're going to waste your time. We would never do that. But it's nice that we can definitely do a little bit more here. So what I'm going to show you now, this would be the rapid refresh model. This is another high resolution model that we use in addition to our in-house. So again, we're showing you another solution here that has storms kind of going in the same vicinity, but notice this one takes them all to the north and kind of leaves us with nothing late tonight. That is a possibility. Again, it depends on how all this sets up. But you can also take this into tomorrow as well and see the potential for dew storms as we get into the late afternoon and evening. And this one, I can see why the Storm Prediction Center would possibly be keeping the 2 out of 5 if they were to use just this scenario. But look at the timing on this.
7 p.m.
We're talking, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. That is really late, and that just does not give you enough time to get much in the way of a severe threat going. So we're not really taking this one with a whole bunch of what do I want to say?
Taking, I guess, it's part of our consideration.
It's part of our consideration.
It's not the peak of our consideration.
We're not giving it a lot of weight, I guess you could say.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Just because of some of the dynamics that we're looking at and what will go on in the atmosphere above us for tomorrow. Another one we can look at too, we can go to the high resolution European model if you want to see what that shows in terms of storms and things like that. Now this is low resolution, so we're not going to get a nice view like we would with our in-house.
Yes.
But it goes to show you similar timing and similar possibilities that we get that strong storm near Des Moines coming in.
Yes, that I-80 corridor, because I was looking at these models obviously for Des Moines, for example, this morning you saw with that rapid refresh model, it kind of blew it up a little bit compared to what we were seeing on our house model. But our house model is agreeing with the European model. There's a little bit more consensus there almost, you could say.
Exactly.
When it comes to the overnight system tonight, even into tomorrow, really, because again, that's low resolution. So that late evening storm on our house model is going to be kind of about the same in that range, I guess you could say.
Exactly. Yeah. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Again, trends, we'll see. We're going to get another model run while you guys are with us here this morning. We will see if that trend holds true or not. We'll kind of bounce back and forth between all of these in the next 10 minutes or so. I think we got 10 more minutes here.
Yep.
So we'll see what the new one has to say. Looks like it hasn't come in quite yet, but we'll give it a few minutes and we'll see what becomes of that. If you're curious what comes in after this, I'm going to show you the next storm system coming in for Easter, and then we'll do the 8-day. Because the next one coming in for Easter, this is not going to be a severe weather maker as of right now.
No.
But it's going to be a lot of rain.
Good soaker.
Very good soaking.
Which is what we need.
We do need some rain. We'll take it, and especially on a widespread basis. So this is getting into Easter Sunday morning. And a lot of rain coming up from the south. This will be moderate to heavy at times. We get to Sunday evening, there will be some embedded thunderstorms with this activity coming up from the southwest. Right now, timing doesn't favor severe weather, and we don't seem to get a lot of clearing for that either. But there'll be some heavy downpours heading into Sunday night, and then we get to Monday, and it all goes away. But that is some healthy rain
Goodness.
coming into the Quad Cities
That's a
region.
lot of yellow, gold, and orange.
It is, isn't it?
Wow.
That is quite a bit of rain.
That's nice, isn't it?
That's a lot of 1 inch plus amounts of rain. On the high end, maybe 2 inches. Don't think we're going to get more than that, but this is going to be a really, really good soaking. So those of you that haven't done I was talking to Dave Lavora at Planet 93.9 this morning. If you haven't done your weed and feed yet, I haven't done that. Do it on Saturday. He was kind of asking me, is this going to be rain heavy enough that it's going to wash it all out of the ground? I don't think so, because our ground is ready for moisture. It's not frozen anymore. It's not cracked, dry, hard, or anything like that. Our ground is in perfect condition right now to take all this rain and just
Suck it up.
get it in there. Yep,
Suck it up, which is good.
exactly.
This is what we want. It's not a bad thing to see. Just for you kids out there, it looks like you're going to have to do your Easter egg hunt inside this year.
Inside, yep, unless you want to carry an umbrella.
That's true.
But that's kind of a pain. There's a lot you got to keep
Are you
track
supposed to
of.
run around and beat your siblings to picking them up?
That too, yeah. How are you supposed to elbow them out of the way?
Exactly.
No, I don't recommend doing that. But
No,
kids
never.
will be kids.
Kids will be kids.
So that's the update there. As you see, heading into Easter Sunday, mid-50s. Next week looks so much warmer. We're going to get more kind of late spring weather in here, and then just a chance for some showers and maybe a rumble of thunder late Tuesday night into Wednesday.
Overall, not too bad of a week, though.
No, I'm liking next week, especially those temperatures.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
That looks so nice.
Yeah. Just wish Easter wasn't so cold and rainy.
I know. I agree. It's a shame we can't salvage the holiday, but
It's okay.
you win some and you lose some.
That's true.
Just want to poke around in the hail probability product here on our radar really quickly, because there's a couple of areas where we're seeing this kind of escalate a little bit more. We've got another little hail pocket close to where we had one earlier this morning near Andalusia.
Oh, yeah.
And also Buffalo. So could be some pea-sized hail that'll be working its way northeast, eventually Bettendorf, Davenport, Rock Island here in Moline. We could see some of that pea-sized hail. There's another pocket here to the northeast of Geneseo. This would be near Hoopole, just to the east of that. Another pocket moving to the northeast. I think that's going to miss Hoopole, but it will eventually head for Tampico and Prophetstown. You could be seeing some of that hail.
Yeah.
Small hail.
As I say, none of this will be severe.
This is not severe, correct?
At least we don't think so.
Nope. We got another little pocket there south of Cambridge. That'll be working northeast. So next stop would be Atkinson, right around the Interstate 80 corridor. We can go to the hail size product just to confirm. I highly doubt we're going to see anything too crazy or too outrageous on that, but we can pull it up anyway. You're probably going to see a couple little orange dots if it comes up, or you know what, maybe there's nothing to see right now.
Which is a good thing.
That's good. It's clean.
Yes.
A clean hail size graphic is a nice
Hail size
graphic. Yes. Some heavy rain coming through these as well. Looking at some of the rainfall rates, you can see about an inch an hour. That doesn't mean you're going to get an inch, but it means if the storm were to just sit there and get all of its rain taken care of out of the cloud, you'd get close to 1.5 inches. So heavy rainfall rates, brief downpours. These are all scattered in nature, and nothing severe ongoing, and nothing severe expected this morning either.
No, Doug was saying out in Galesburg they're getting some pretty heavy rain right now as well. So
yeah,
so kind of everyone's getting a good little soaking here to start the day.
Really nice soaking. Actually, a nice cell there near Galesburg. Got a couple of lightning flashes here on the board, and probably some small pea-sized hail. And you get to the stronger part of the storm, not bad.
Heavy rain near your location from the Storm Track 8 app.
Storm Track 8 app, yep. It's probably going to start pouring here in the Quad Cities again, and yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case.
Why don't we go check?
Peter's going to go outside right now and check. I'm going to pull up the Bridgepoint camera, and I'm going to actually move it to the southwest, and we'll see probably some darker clouds heading in that direction. Give me a second, and we'll go ahead and we'll throw it on the screen here. But yeah,
Nothing yet, but it's definitely wet outside from previous showers.
Still got some wet pavement out there. Let's see. Let's swing this around to... Oh, thank you, Brandy. Go ahead and go. We can go ahead and go to Bridgepoint. So I'm going to move this. You're going to see it in just a second. It takes a minute to catch up to our feed there.
It's a pretty little scene there, though.
Yeah, you see some of the darker clouds. And so what I'll take you over to now is all that rain to the southwest of us.
A little wall of it almost.
Going to get ready to come in. I'm going to move this up a little bit farther because this should give us a little bit more accurate representation of the color when we adjust the iris. But you'll be able to see the rain bands a little bit easier. What you want to do is look for the water towers in the background. You've got one on the left-hand side of your screen, and then you've got another one in the center here in just a second, and it's right to the right of that first water tower on the left. Thank you, Brandy, where you're going to see the beginning of that rain band that's starting to work its way in. Heavy rain, again, could be some small pea-sized hail with this too, as the storm is coming into the Quad Cities metro again. No. Don't be surprised.
No, don't be surprised, but don't be, I guess, too worried.
Don't be too worried, no nothing severe.
Crazy. Maybe some lightning. I was hoping we could get a little strike on here.
I know, I've been trying to do that all morning long, and as everyone, if you've watched me since I've been here knows, I have terrible luck trying to capture lightning on any of these cameras. It seems like every time you want it to happen, it happens as soon as you take the shot away.
Yep, exactly.
And you can't see it anymore, so I have terrible luck with that. But yeah, nice shot from the Bridgepoint camera there. Thank you, Brandy, for showing us that. A lot of good downpours out there, though. Lots and lots of good downpours, that's for sure. Any questions we can answer?
A ton, yeah. I didn't
All right.
We just blabbed for 27 minutes.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about.
We're good at that. Let's see. So the first question is when is the, so I guess this is a little Ask Andrew, but when should we start to expect some of that summer weather?
You know, that's something we haven't had a whole lot of yet. We've actually had kind of a more normal-ish spring.
Yeah.
Usually, it feels like we just jump into summer here. And that's not the case this year. So I think we're going to have to wait a little bit for those 80s to stick around more consistently later next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about the dew points and humidity? Are they going up? I'm assuming today. And
you're going to feel the humidity today because of this, and then tomorrow it'll feel a little sticky out of that front. Dew points are likely going to go into the 60s, and some of you will get close to 80 degrees for a high in the afternoon. So it is going to get a little muggy. I would recommend not opening your windows. If your house is nice and comfortable right now, my plan is I'm not opening the windows today. I'm not going to open the windows tomorrow because all that humidity is just going to come in. I would rather keep the house cool, keep it comfortable. Then you don't have to turn the AC on.
It's true. I think I just thought in my head, I think I left my windows open. I know. I got screens. I got screens. I was just like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I forgot to close those this morning.
Aw, that's all right. Whatever. That's all right. You live and you learn.
Yeah, you live and you learn, right? I guess I'm still dealing with this whole rain thing.
That's all right. You're fine.
Will it be bad in Danville, Iowa, and when will it hit us?
Danville, Iowa. You know what? My poor brain this morning. I'm trying to remember what county that's in. It's in Des Moines County. I knew it was
Wasn't
south.
that further south?
I knew it was south. So yes. Was that for this morning or tonight?
Just when will it hit us? I guess so. In general, probably tonight, I would assume.
So if you're thinking tonight, we think if you're west of the Mississippi River, it's going to be closer to that 10, 11.
Yes.
If you're in the metro, we're about 11 to 1. And then east of the metro is going to be after 1 o'clock.
Yes.
So a late night tonight for that region.
Yes. And again, it's kind of in that area where we could be seeing that shift too, further to the south.
Right. And we want to emphasize scattered. Again, not everybody is going to see these, but should one develop in that region, the timing would favor That being kind of close to that 10 o'clock. In fact, I think this is the new run.
Is this? Oh, this is timing different.
This looks different, yes.
That's clearing out by, wow, much sooner.
So this is a new run. Again, you're getting this live with us here, watching it with us for the first time, which is what's nice about doing these at 9 o'clock. We get the latest data that we can show you. So this is moving, timing for us, it's just a smidge earlier, but we're still between that 2 to 4 time frame. But notice it looks like this one's
southerly,
coming in stronger.
Stronger and also a little bit more southerly.
Yep, than what we saw for the other run this morning. What about any new developments for tomorrow afternoon?
Not a lot.
Nothing. So still going with nothing happening tomorrow afternoon. That's what I like to see. Let's keep our Friday afternoon and evening quiet. That's what we want to see.
I don't mind that.
Don't mind that at all. But yeah, that's the trend. That's very similar to what we saw yesterday.
Yes.
Very similar.
Yep. It's almost like the overnight runs have trended a little further north. The daytime ones a little bit further south.
Yep.
It's kind of exactly what we saw yesterday morning.
Seems to be the direction we keep heading in.
Yeah. So again, right along that I-80 corridor, pretty much trend is right there every time.
Yeah. Very consistent.
I like consistency.
We love consistency.
We love consistency. So yeah, Danville, again, around that 10, 11 o'clock time frame.
Late this evening.
For Carol, she's, we had a very bad short rain this AM, so just rain. No bad stuff, please. And
we'll hope that's the case.
We'll hope that's the case.
We will hope that is the case. The good thing is it's not a widespread line. It's not a giant cluster.
No.
This is very scattered in nature.
Scattered and kind of trying to be one larger cell that we end up seeing.
Yeah. See if it holds its own.
Yes. Laura was wondering about Rock Falls currently.
So right now for Rock Falls, let's actually go there, and we can view that in a couple of different ways. We can go to radar first, and then we'll take you into downtown. We can swing the camera there at the airport too, because it looks like shortly you're going to be seeing some rain, maybe even a brief rumble of thunder from that storm that is currently in Prophetstown. And we have a camera there. Let's go check it out really quickly, see if there's anything happening in terms of rain. Well, yeah.
Oh, that's rain.
It's definitely raining there. Nice heavy downpour coming through. I'll take you out to the airport here in a second too, and we can look off to the southwest and see what's happening there. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead. Yeah, nice size looking raindrops there. Boy, that's nice. Let's see if we can pull up the airport camera. I'm going to give that a second. Nice heavy downpour there. We'll go to the Whiteside County Airport, which of course is south of Rock Falls. And we will move that camera in a different direction to the southwest. Give it a second here. Again, the feed's going to catch up to the controlling that we're doing here back at the station. But yeah, we definitely have some dark skies brewing to the southwest of you there in Sterling Rock Falls. That's that next round of rain that's going to be moving in with a couple of rumbles of thunder there too. So nice that we can verify that with all of these hometown cameras as to what's going on across the entire region. Really great question there. I'm going to hop on the live stream as well. Give me a second so I can pull up some of your questions. Peter has to take his quick morning meeting phone call as he talks to the folks at our sister station in Des Moines to see what they're going to cover for their 11 o'clock newscast coming up. Again, if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. You can also text it to us as well. And let's see who we have left here. Just now getting the chat pulled up. There's a question asking, and this is from Billy, this is a good question, is there a possibility that the morning storms could stop the overnight storms? That's not going to happen in our case because the overnight storms are going to form in an area where there are not many storms happening at the present time. I'm going to take you to the regional view here of our regional radar, and you can see there's nothing going on northwest of Kansas City. This is the area where new storms are going to take off and develop later this afternoon and then rush their way eastward overnight. We have a lot of clearing that's taking place to the west of us. We are indeed going to break into some sunshine this afternoon. So we're going to build up some of that storm energy during the day, hold on to it, some of it in a way tonight, and then these storms as they develop here will race off to the northeast and take advantage of that. Doug says they're getting heavy rain in Galesburg right now. Let's see. I think we had a question from, actually, no, we actually got that one. Michael saying, thank you, you're so welcome. Let's see. Riley says it's raining in Monmouth. He also asked what kind of weather would make even you stay inside and not film a forecast or a tornado. Well, if I saw a violent tornado coming toward me, I definitely would not be outside filming that thing. Those things are super, super powerful. That's a great question, though. And we are all caught up with questions, which is good. So again, we're not expecting any severe weather as we go throughout this morning. These are just your run-of-the-mill, typical springtime thunderstorms. There could be some very small hail with any stronger storm that starts to take off. And right now, it would appear the strongest cell that we have on radar in the immediate region would be right here as we go just north of Geneseo. You got another little storm coming up into Geneseo right now, but there's a little bit of a stronger pocket of storms to the west of Hoople. And I'll put the hail probability back on here really quick before we hop off the live stream here. And yeah, you see a couple little pockets there scattered, actually kind of almost in a perfect line. From just west of Hoople, south of Geneseo, and then down here south of Andover. All of this is going to be moving to the north and to the east. So some pea-sized hail will be possible in those pockets where we have the more robust storm activity, but we're not expecting anything larger than what's going on right now. Pea-sized hail, that will be about it. Still think tomorrow afternoon is going to be relatively quiet, but we will have to watch late tonight into tomorrow morning. But no worries, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be watching, we're going to be tracking all of that as we go throughout tonight. No worries. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of a quick call.
Oh, it's okay. They understand. I told them you were talking to your agent and all that stuff.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah. Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, we've gone through all the questions. We're all caught up.
Oh,
so
look at that.
Yeah.
I just got here in time to say goodbye.
We were busy while you were gone.
Goodness.
And there's the thunder.
Ooh.
Isn't that nice? Oh,
Looks
I
like a
missed that
lightning
sound.
show.
It
Did you catch
is.
any while I was gone?
Nothing. Not a thing. I will say, though, it's getting really, really dark. I was just showing Rock Falls while you were gone. It is starting to really, really get dark southwest of town. I'll take you there one more time before we say goodbye. There
Oh,
you
yeah,
can see
wow.
some of the darker clouds in the background. Got a nice, it looks like south wind based on the direction that flag is pointing. I'm getting my bearings. I know that's due west, so that would be south. Nice south wind, a little breezy at times. But yeah, it looks like Sauk Valley will be getting some of that heavy rain here shortly. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to continue to monitor things as we go through this morning. Of course, we'll keep an eye out tonight as well. I want to encourage you to tune in. Chief Meteorologist James Zahara, whether it's the 5, the 6, or the 4 with the current with Shelby, and of course the 10 tonight.
Yes.
That way we can see what's going to happen overnight. No worries. Should something escalate or develop, we will absolutely let you know as it comes through. Because what do?
We track storms.
That's right. We do.
We love it.
We do. We truly love doing that kind of stuff. All right, guys, you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Again, stay aware. Get your Storm Track 8 app loaded tonight before you go to bed. Turn those notifications on. You'll be good to go. I'll see you later this morning for GMQC at 11. Have a great day.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.